Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this delicious beef stew with red potatoes and a lot of other ingredients. This is my recipe, one of them. So I want to start by telling you guys that at the beginning of my videos I always share the full recipe, full ingredients, measurements, and everything. So if there's anything that I don't specifically tell you at this point, you can always go back to the beginning and see the full recipe. Let's start by telling you guys what ingredients you will be needing. So as you can see, I have some beef chopped up in squares. We have red potatoes right here. We also have chicken broth. I'm using olive oil, salt, pepper, chopped up fine mushrooms. We have some tomatoes here, some fresh corn, but you can use canned corn, half a chopped up white onion, and we have 2 jalapenos chopped up finely. With the seeds, it is optional, so you can take the seeds if you want. We have some garlic powder. This is one of my favorite seasonings. You can find it at your local store. You don't have to use it, but I strongly suggest you do. It's called Goya, and it's an all-purpose seasoning. I also have some small chopped up green onions because that's going to be to decorate, but I will be sharing that with you guys. And we also have minced garlic. Let's get started. 2 last ingredients I forgot. We have some paprika and some cumin. Let's go ahead and start putting some olive oil, and we're going to start by cooking our potatoes. We don't want to fully cook them, but we're going to get them to crisp up a little bit. So let's gradually start adding them. So I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of garlic seasoning, and I'm also going to add some salt. And we're going to go ahead and add a little bit of salt. That's to your discretion and your liking. I'm going to mix that very good. And we're going to go ahead and let them cook for about 5 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and grab another pan, and we're going to also add a little bit of olive oil to it. And we are going to start cooking our veggies. We will start by adding our white half onion. And we're going to go ahead and add our corn as well with our onions. I'm using fresh corn, but like I said, you can use canned corn. While our corn and our onions are getting a little crispy, we will start seasoning our meat before we start cooking it. So we're going to start by adding some cumin, and we're going to go ahead and, this is optional. There's not a right or wrong way, so you just kind of want to, season it enough, but not too much to go crazy with the cumin. So now we're going to go ahead and add some paprika. And this is to your liking, people. And we're going to go ahead and use my favorite seasoning, one of them, and this is the all-purpose seasoning, and you're also going to put it to your liking. Remember, I am using a lot of meat. This is 6 pounds of beef, so I like to season it enough. And now we're going to go ahead and add some salt to it, and we're going to mix all that very good before we start cooking our meat. So after cooking our corn and our onion for about, 5 minutes, we're going to go ahead and remove it back to our container. Remember, you don't want your vegetables to be soggy, so you don't want to overcook them because it's a stew, so they're going to also cook with the meat. So I went ahead and added a little more oil, and now we are going to start by sauteing our jalapenos as well. And we're also going to saute our mushrooms. So now, while our mushrooms and our jalapenos are sauteing in our pan, we're going to go ahead and start with the meat. We're going to add some olive oil as well. And we are going to start frying our meat before we let it boil. So we're going to bring that to our skillet. So as you can see, this is the texture you want with your veggies. So we're going to go ahead and also remove them and place them into the container where the corn and the onions are. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and remove our potatoes. They're still hard, as you can see, but we do not want them to overcook, so we will remove all of them completely. So now we're going to go ahead and transfer our meat to our pot again after removing our potatoes, because this is where it's going to boil and cook down. Okay guys, so now we're going to go ahead and add our tomatoes into the blender, and we're going to add some chicken broth. Let me tell you guys, I normally don't measure this, but we're going to go ahead and add half of this, which equals to 2 cups, a good bit. And we are going to add 1 spoon of minced garlic to this. Or you can add 2 cloves of garlic. And we're going to go ahead and blend that. Very good. So now we're going to go ahead and add our chicken broth with our tomatoes. Remember, this is going to boil for about an hour and a half to 2 until your meat is very tender. We will not be adding the vegetables or the potatoes until the meat is cooked, because we don't want them to get soggy. So we're going to go ahead and close this, and always remember, you do not want to over salt your meat, because you can always add some salt after the meat is cooked. Let's go ahead and close it and let it cook. Also, I want to share with you guys so you do not get confused. The way you cook stew, you don't overflow it with water. All you want to do is cover it up to where you can't see the meat. And that's why I said add 2 cups of chicken broth to your blender with the tomatoes. The same juice that's on the meat, I didn't have to add any water other than the chicken broth. So now we're going to go ahead and let it cook. And you want to, like I said, let it cook for boil for about an hour to medium. You want to keep your fire on medium, not high, because you don't want it to burn. Okay guys, so after cooking and letting it boil for an hour and a half, this is what you want. This is what it should be looking like. And now we're going to go ahead and add our vegetables and our potatoes into our pot to let it continue cooking for about 10 more minutes. So we're going to go ahead and pour our red potatoes, and we're going to mix good with the stew. So now we're going to go ahead and add our vegetables, our corn, and we're going to mix that very good. So after adding my vegetables and my potatoes, I went ahead and let it cook for 10 more minutes. And as you can see, this is the result. I really hope you guys enjoyed this delicious beef stew with red potatoes. And as you can see, this is how I plated my beef stew. I garnished it with a little bit of green onions. Thank you for watching my channel, guys, my video. Please don't forget to subscribe for more delicious recipes like this.